time banking, or the Time Exchange. This is who we are, Sonoma County Time Exchange. Begin with a quote that I really like, which is, "Time is an equal opportunity employer." We're all talking about different problems that we're facing with the economy and with climate change, and we know that we are living in a very, very difficult time in the world's history. Well, about 20 years ago, there was a professor called Dr. Edward Kahn who came up with a simple concept, which is really going back to an idea that is practiced all over the world for millennia, and that's basically the idea of people helping other people in times of need. So this is what time banking really means. It's a pay-it-forward relationship, hopefully with other like-minded individuals. The goal is to create a thriving community based on the sharing of resources, promoting the spirit of altruism and giving in a society that values material gain and competition. So we've all seen the demise of the model of I've got mine, I don't think I have to worry about other people's welfare. We are seeing what's happening all across the world right now in the global economy. We have to start thinking in a new direction about how we can revitalize communities on a local level. So this is basically what's being proposed here. All people have talents, gifts, abilities, knowledge, skills, and they wish to share their knowledge and skills with others. So what we do basically in the time banking system is that people become members of our system, and then they can exchange services with other members. And the unit of time, we call it time dollars, is basically an egalitarian model that basically says 1 hour of service equals 1 hour of service, regardless of what that service is. So it could range from someone doing accounting, to cooking, to gardening, to teaching someone a foreign language. Many different types of services are available, and we have close to 300 members at present, and we have people from really all across the board. We have people who do counseling and do mentoring, and teachers and accountants, and basically the idea here is really for people to gain a better understanding of who their community members are and allow that conversation to begin between people. Oh, this person has a certain need. How can I meet that need? How can I help that person? Is there someone else who could help me in a time of need? So that's the idea. So community members are the most valuable resource. Community members, meaning people. We all are resources. We all, just as people, are abilities as human beings. We should tap into that resource and stop saying the dollar amount in someone's bank account is really, the net worth is really what that person is. We have to start looking at it from a different lens, the human capacity. So we're using time as a unit of exchange, not just a monetary system. Like I said, we're talking about equity of valued proficiencies. And also, I'd really like to stress, this is an egalitarian model. What we're talking about here is not, okay, if I can do these calculations, these mathematical equations, and I can really help this company succeed. The value of my time is X amount of dollars per hour. What we're really changing that to is basically whether you teach someone how to cook, or you balance someone's books, or you do some gardening or yard work, we're all basically human beings and all services are equal in value. So when members exchange services, they're basically exchanging 1 hour of the service that they best know how to provide for an hour of service that they would need. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one-to-one, one person giving and one person receiving. It's basically a many-to-many relationship where one person gives to another member and any other member can give to any other member. So it's a many-to-many spiral-like motion of giving. So this is just a simple example. It could be math tutoring, it could be babysitting in exchange for consulting, web design, gardening, yard work, teaching how to dance. We have software that tracks all the hours, and we have it online. I'm just going to share this with you. Edgar Kahn is really the founder of Timebanking. He wrote a book called No More Throwaway People. I highly recommend that book. He said the most important factor in a community is, who can I trust to get the work done? Who is reliable? Who can be trusted to be a friend? And what I'm hoping is that in the time banking community, we can say we all are those people. So these are the core values of time banking. Every person is an asset. Simple enough. No one can say, oh, I don't have any skills, I can't really teach anything, I can't really help anyone. Every person can do something for another person. Some work is beyond monetary price. We want to promote reciprocity in helping. It's also very true that social networks are necessary to ensure the success of individuals and the community as a whole. When a company is created, it doesn't happen out of thin air. It happens out of a conversation and a working relationship between colleagues. Just recently, I saw something in the news about Steve Jobs, and they were talking about the founding of Apple Computers. That started out as basically a college project between two college kids in a garage, and now we have all these awesome products that everyone all over the world are using. Well, my basic idea is that time banking can create those models. If people go ahead and meet each other and exchange services and start having conversations and knowing who the community is, they can start creating those relationships that may lead later on to successful businesses, partnerships, organizations, and really change the nature of our community. These are the practical aspects. What I've just mentioned is really our ideals, our highest ideals. This is really the practical, everyday aspect of how this whole thing works. Our software is called Our World. It's been developed by Stephen Beckett. He is basically based in Portland, Maine, and he is actually featured in a PBS documentary, which is really how I got into this whole area of time banking. It's a documentary film that came out last year, and the name of the film is Fixing the Future. And if you just Google PBS Fixing the Future, you might be able to just watch it online and see how time banking really evolved. So, Our World is the program we use. It's a software program that tracks the exchanges among the community members, and people log in and they have their username, their password. Basically, they can tap into the network of other providers and they can basically do the exchanges themselves. Some members did mention to me that it does require a little bit of a learning curve. So this is basically the membership process. There's an online application that needs to be filled out. That's sent to us online. There's a $25 annual membership fee. We also screen members we screen applicants before they become members, so a reference letter is needed. And also an orientation, which is just what I mentioned. It is a good idea to go into time banking after you've already talked to me and I walk you through the software so you really know how to get all that exchange technique down. So you can actually really get to start meeting other people and finding the right matches between services. These following time banks are the time banks that our world is used. We are one of them. One of my goals in the near future is probably to start having a conversation with all these time banks and start maybe creating some kind of network so that time banks can aggregate and start talking to each other and maybe having a more cohesive idea of where we want time banking to go. These are the countries that have been using time banking, and I can say from the country I come from, which is Israel, time banking has been going on there for about 9 years. And each city in Israel has a time bank, and some larger cities have actually more than one. It's very, very developed. And I have to say, I've visited some of their websites, and what I can conclude is that they really have very strong community support for time banking. I'm sure that in other countries it's also developing very well. Here in California, again, I think the time has come for us to start moving in that direction. Instead of just having 37 million individuals in California, we can create these communities and villages and groups and start communicating and maybe making things happen to change the nature of our economy. We have 3 different types of time bank memberships. We have individual, business, and organization memberships. One type that is being used currently in Sonoma County is the satellite model. You could refer to it somewhat as a parent-child organization relationship. There is a satellite of our time exchange at Sonoma State University at the moment. That is the only satellite right now in operation. And basically what the idea is that each community can create their own time banking hub linked to our time exchange. And we would have an ongoing relationship with them, and basically they would receive some of our support, and we would have exchanges done through the time exchange. They would receive some of those time dollars, rather, to promote and also increase their operation. So Sonoma State University already has a satellite of a time bank. Here we are on the campus of Santa Rosa Junior College. I would like to see, what I would really hope is that within the next year, I would like to see a satellite group created here at SRJC. I myself am an SRJC student, and I can see a lot of talent here. This is a great school, and we have a lot of talent, both faculty and students. So I'd love to hear people come to me and say, we want to create a time banking satellite. So that's just an invitation. Another idea that is being proposed is to have classes offered by a time exchange member to other members. This is actually something that is really in the works, but we would like to start moving that forward so that a person with specialized knowledge can teach a class and get paid in time dollars. This is really something that is in development, and we hope to have this implemented by next year. In conclusion, like I said, our Sonoma County Time Exchange is a work in progress. And again, my information is outside. I can give it to people. And we welcome feedback from the community. I would like to know where we can improve. What I think is really very essential about time exchanging, it's not just about altruism, it is more than that. It has the potential to lead people to basically have conversations like the one we're having in this conference. And that might transform the way we live. And that's really my highest aspiration for the time exchange. That by the way of, as a byproduct of exchanges, people start thinking seriously about how are we going to live? How are we going to care for the sick? How are we going to care for the elderly? Who among us will be the next leaders of our community? So what I'm basically saying is that the future leaders may emerge from these exchanges. And what I'd like to do as the coordinator of the Time Exchange is start having people, inviting people into this conversation and saying, come in, let's begin this process. And lastly, I'm saying the leaders of the community may basically come from just all walks of life. I don't think that we really need to go back to that model where leaders come from the top echelon of society. I really think that there are the potential of leadership is in many, many people. So I just want to invite people in and say, let's create this new model together. And lastly, I just want to end with a quote I really love about time from Henry David Thoreau. Time is but the stream I go a-fishing in. I drink at it, but while I drink, I see the sandy bottom and detect how shallow it is. Its thin current slides away, but eternity remains. Thank you.